Hello. So I was just having fun working on this last night or whatever, so thought I would stream again. Thought I made some more progress, so just kind of keeping it going. Going around the corner here. Not really sure how it was constructed or whatever, but a little bit of freedom to just bring it in. Assuming that in the end that's not going to look bad with all the overlapping or whatever. We're going to get sculpted some of this as well, so. Not have done it like that, but tends to show off the undo of bevels. Always a good tool. Remembering what I'm saying. Maybe I didn't even need to do that. Who knows? That one's out. In. Going to be sculpted in the end, so I don't actually mind undoing the bevels and just this one. So yeah, I've undone the bevels there so that I can just have them here instead in the modifier. I'm doing it everywhere. I literally started the stream by beveling this, and now I am unbeveling it. Let's just check that all my settings are correct here. Settings. They're probably fine. I unbeveled that one because beveling just makes it much harder to work with, which is why I might as well apply it via modifier. Really not sure again how this is going to combine in the end, but kind of almost block outy at this point. I'm going to make that a little bit higher than looks weird being flush with it. Make them all higher, and this one's going to want unbeveling. Hi there, how's it going? Thank you for joining the stream. If you've got any questions on Blender or the stuff that I'm doing, then just put them in the chat. I have to unbevel all of this. Should have just done it with a modifier. Cool, good stuff. Do you use Blender or 3ds Max or Maya? I'm assuming Blender since you're here, but people do a bit of everything. Oh, voice is low? Okay. Try and sort this out. That would be, yeah, I'm just trying to sort out the settings here then. My mic a little bit. Should be getting to should be alright now. I had it on like a lower setting. Yes. I think I've seen more about Modo personally. It looks very, very similar to Blender. Cinema 4D doesn't look very usable to me in terms of out of all the softwares, but I'm sure it has its place. It's maybe aged a little bit. Right, so I'm going to do the same thing here as I did before and just give it a local array. think in the end I'll end up sculpting one or two variations of this, and then I'll put them in. I'll actually just import them to well, maybe I could do that now. Maybe sculpted. I'm going to use nanite or whatever. That one's longer than that one. Yeah, definitely the community for Blender is the big part of it, because there's a lot of people that don't, like for myself, I have donated to the Blender Foundation, obviously, because I've been using it a lot, but I prefer to actually make tutorials as a way of sort of supporting the software, and I've got that freedom to decide to do other things with Blender. And because everyone has that freedom, you end up getting high quality tutorials that people are making, and the ways that people are making money from it in ways that promote the software as well. Like people just making add-ons or whatever, because it's all kind of a good way of making money with the software while also supporting the software. It all feeds back into itself, which is really cool. I don't mind this being sort of thrown together. Yeah, layered painting systems inside Blender is going to be really crazy. I mean, geometry nodes, there's already so much there that looks like it can do a lot of what Houdini can do in terms of what you might need it for to speed things up. It can't obviously do everything that Houdini can do, and it might not do it as well, but a lot of the tools that are there immediately with geometry nodes within the last year or whatever have really pushed into that space in a way that is just going to keep developing. So if they're going to start doing that with something similar to 3D layered painting systems, then that'll be really cool. They obviously already had the in-editor painting system, and they've got stuff like Grease Pencil, which is really crazy as well. So it's definitely exciting to see some of that stuff. Just thinking about what I want to do with this. Yeah, and like I don't use it myself, but there's a competent compositing and video editing sort of system in here as well. I've used before. It's just so much, and even though they've gotten rid of it, Blender's always had that sort of thing. Like there was a game engine in Blender before 2.8. There was the game engine built inside Blender, and that was just something that I never used, but it was something that presumably some people were using to make some stuff. As well as the real-time rendering here is also really cool. So if I duplicate this and quickly set origin to geometry, duplicate. The array. Alt D, Alt G. It's in the middle. Getting this ready for sculpting whenever I do decide to do that, or however I decide to do this as like a little prop. I'll move it in there, call it something up. Hate that, that should be changed. That doesn't automatically recognise that it's I'm going to place them inside Unreal actually. Three of them will do. in. It would be Lenite in the end. So the annoying thing here is that I'm going to have to just place them. Didn't actually scale them either, so I might just have to re-import them at an actual scale rather than whatever I chose, which was... Ooh, that's weird. Why is it? Oh, it's getting mirrored. Do that on all of them? Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I like learning things while they develop though, because then you're really ahead of, like I as soon as Unreal 5 dropped downloaded, as soon as there's like a new update to something that I don't quite understand, like say virtual textures in Unreal 5, something that I just don't understand, I at least try and watch something on it, because I don't know, I can just almost when I come back to it, it kind of sinks in a little bit better. Like if I started just messing around with, if I just started messing around with geometry nodes now, which I haven't really done because I've been learning a lot of other stuff, but I've been watching videos on it for sure. Just got to be right back. No, I just saw like a random £50 PayPal something came out on my account. It turned out my PlayStation Plus is just renewed, so it's always random because you buy 12 months at once. So, but I'm from the UK, so I'm currently in Liverpool. Just around the UK, yeah. Yourself? Okay, I'll re-export these, but actually, what was I just thinking? Yeah, they need to be an actual usable size, that would be nice. Once. Cool. Is there a lot of 3D modeling stuff over there, or you know, is some of the 3D industries in it pretty big, or do you have to maybe work remote for places if you were looking for work? Exported those at 3 meters now. A little bit nicer. I already hand copied and pasted these, but I was just actually considering making. Go on then, I'll make it. Let's go to add a new folder. made this in a while, so let's just have a little go at it. Oh. We're going to need a spline at some point, I imagine. Add static mesh. Yeah, as I was saying in the last stream, like definitely knowing more software is good for like leveling up. Like knowing all the software, just being able to say like if you're going to join a studio that uses a different software, at least say that you're going to use it. It didn't seem to help me too much because I was always like, oh, I mainly use Blender, but I do know 3ds Max and Maya. I think they pretty much, back when I was looking for jobs, pretty much people just heard the word Blender and were like, oh, well, you know, not really going to go for you. Potentially that was something that was sort of what people were thinking of the software at the time. But I think knowing Blender now is going to have a different effect, because before, when it was 2.79 or whatever, it was very different to 2.8. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So let's do array. Random array. A vector object reference. Oh yeah, like I say, I haven't done blueprints in quite a while, but this should jog my memory a little bit. Here's a static mesh component. So mesh component object reference. Act object. If I would choose a stream to do this on, wouldn't I? Seems like... Oh, oh yeah, that's right. Let's see, I'll get there eventually. So it's add static mesh component. It can be pretty much any mesh, and then it's set. Annoyingly. Don't know why. If I set it, then I can import the yeah. Now it's random. Random. Ugh, still not working. Okay, let's promote that to a variable. Now it's just a static mesh. Is finally going to be the right one. Array mesh. Change. Random. Now it works. Okay, so that's getting set randomly. And we want to do it via yes, I think at the minute with applying to, sorry, I was just reading back on the comment. At the minute, looking at getting hired around Europe, whatever, if your portfolio is good, then working remote seems really, really viable. So you can just really apply to anyone and work remotely now. An array. Loop is what I actually want. Minute. I'm going to make it 1. See what happens. So the mesh is in there. Could make it automated, but it's easier doing it before than after. There is a way of swapping these, but I can't remember it, so I'm not going to bother. And then that's promoted to a variable. more control on this. It's probably going to go the wrong way. Okay, so it's not arraying at the minute. I can swap the meshes. Let's just see what I did. Oh, I just plugged it straight in. Not seen that node before, so this is interesting, just being in UE5 and seeing all this sort of, just seeing how the new stuff to blueprints works, because that node is like improved upon how it was before, which is cool. Now it's arraying, but that needs to be times by 2 for some reason, because it only counts positive values or something, and potentially it's the index -1 or something, I don't know. Oh, I should really reapply that to this as well. So let's have a look at doing that in a second. Sort of redoing a lot of work here, but making it easier in the future. So now I've got an array that is working. Oops. Yes, I'll just going. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep building on it because right now I want to move it over there, but I want it to be flipped or whatever, so I might as well just keep working away. So then now I can move that over there. Oh, that's funny. Oh. That needs to have +1. Is that going to cause an issue? Ideally, yeah, -1 isn't now going to invert it, which is what I was thinking, but 1's going to double, so that doesn't work. Maybe there's an easier way of doing it, but I was talking to someone who said that that they didn't think I think the laptop's fans went crazy or something, they were saying, when they had Unreal 5 running. Like, they did try it, but they were running it on a laptop, because that's all they have. But from what I'd seen on YouTube and so on, UE5 does scale well on old hardware. Like, all of the ways that it's doing things, in some ways is more efficient, apparently, and maybe that could contribute towards the specs for the system not needing to be too crazy. So, like, you see, like, on YouTube there's a guy that posts a video of like a million assets in Nanite running on an old computer or whatever. So that kind of stuff maybe means that it's not as crazy as you might think, but at least it's worth trying, because I don't know much about it. But that's what I've just seen on YouTube or whatever. So that just wants to be 1 by default. To be fair, I should model these two-sided anyway. These should probably be modeled two-sided, so that so if it was flipping randomly, see if I can do that. If it's a branch, yeah. Branch minus the one. I guess the branch doesn't want to be there, but random. I don't know, I really don't use blueprints very much, so if all this stuff might exist in a way that I'm just doing it in a way that makes sense to me. But if that's like that, and then it can just plug into there. No, not into there. Into there, and if that's random, yeah, so I set the origin on that when it was mixed up, so let's set the origin again. But that actually does display how it's working, so you can see it just so happens that all those three have switched. Whereas here, none of them are switching. Is that right? Oh no, they are. They're switching. So that one swapped. They're just swapping at random. So, object geometry. Fix it. Oh, is that thicker? Feeling a little thicker. Even width really for this flipping system to work. Yet they're all the same. PC seems to be running nicer on Unreal 5 at the minute, I don't know why. Let's try and import these. It's probably because I haven't got all the other software running. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's fine. Even just add a random offset as well. Just add more and more things, why not? But that will do for now. I don't know if I'll even need it again. That open with so now you can see how they're randomly being distributed. Might not end up looking too like, and that's why the flipping randomness is also good, because if I get two of the same one in a row now, oops, then it might still be good. Cool. That notification just came up. Thank you for subscribing, whoever that is, if you're watching. I actually don't know how I've got this set up because it doesn't come up on my screen. Oh, my headset's dying. It doesn't come up on my screen when people subscribe, but I do hear the noise or whatever, and I can't see like on my screen where it appears, which makes sense. Okay, so that's that. Actually, what I'm going to add to these, I don't know whether I want it to be random actually. Might as well. One. I'm going to link them all for now so that I don't have to. I don't have to keep selecting them at the moment and redoing them. That is all three of them. Thought I'd chosen the wrong side, but actually I'm going to add a unique thing there anyway, so yeah, I've already got it in like that. when I re-import it, when I re-export the main platform. That edge should be looking a lot nicer. That works a little bit better. Maybe I could even thicken it up. Not sure if I prefer. Yeah, I prefer covering the whole edge really. Hide all the problems. Might as well just hide it rather than because it's going to be made out of modular stuff. Okay. And then, because I just went to all this effort creating this system that I should have created back when I made all this stuff, it should now just be a case of finding this blueprint. It's going to make it so much easier in the future, otherwise I have to do this by hand later. So blueprint, I think if I just right click this, I can put this with the array here. Then I replace all of those with the barrier. And it's working, but it's working on the bounds. I built the barrier to be. I built the barrier with a little bit of overlap, I think. So let's just. Either way, that means I've got the great job of having to delete everything that I made. In an earlier stream, you can see me place all of those. Well, that one actually can stay, although it doesn't fit. So that's not great. See how they fit. They don't. I don't even need it to be an end as long as it's. Yeah, so I've got plenty of room there to. Yeah, I've got loads of room. Yeah, that's just about right. Those ones can stay. All these can go. I built them specifically for that. Oh, I should copy that one. We'll replace it with. fine. Probably built them to some funky scale as well, something that's not really any good. What do I just do with this? Yeah, just kind of lower the back button. Take half the object into there. All I did with this is just throw on a moss material, but with the amount of polys or whatever that I'm planning on with doing with nanite and sculpting, it might just, like that's passable. If I finish this entire scene and then that's what that looked like, I'm sure it'll be fine. But of course what I'm actually planning is doing trims or whatever, create a trim sheet, so on. As I say, that this isn't. This project was created kind of just to test nanite out as well, which is why I'm using Megascans for all the backgrounds and so on. Seems like a good way of using it, but in the end, it has killed my motivation to actually make more things, because I'd rather do it all myself and have it all planned. But then what I've ended up doing is I create this nice sculpted rock in the back. Well, I don't create it. I add in the rock in the background. I had to then use Megascan's textures to colour them in, and then I ended up with these photoscan textures that now, if I want to make my own material, I have to copy or at least try and replicate that in a lot of ways. I did ignore it here. I just sort of decided that making that stylized is the way to go, potentially. Like, because when I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, I kind of want this to be specifically looking like this, because I made it in Substance. And once everything's together, we'll see what it looks like. But yeah, and there's a lot of modelling around the windows and so on, which would be good time for nanite as well. I think I'm just importing them at the minute, all as one piece. But potentially, if it was just its own little nanite thing. Okay, so, oh, yeah, that's right. Annoyingly, still got this to deal with as well. Those. Well, that's why I put the multiply in there actually, so I can actually use it. Is broken for some reason. Even though it's exactly the same as that, I assume. Rotated different. Oh. Ah. It's a funny one. Oh, I don't know how to open the blueprints anymore. It used to be just a little button. Ah, there we go. It's funny. That fixes it. Why is it the minimum bounds? Max. Okay, but not ×2 anymore. Now for some reason. Okay. Yes. Don't know why that's broken, but whatever. Yep, 21. Okay, so let's add a few more of these, and let's put 10. So it's gone a bit wrong, but make it back how it was. If we make it 11, that should be able to just scale. So it's right about 0.9. Okay. Oops. That's not what I wanted. A way to do this than just go. Everything is working as expected. And that's going to make my life just a lot easier in the future. Right, so I don't really want to sculpt anything, so it's just going to be more modelling. So look at reference, maybe something will jump out to me. So that's kind of what I was recreating, and that edge does overlap. So I just added a corner thing on there, which I think is a lazy way of doing it. Lazy, but maybe I could turn it into a bit of a maybe more of a designed piece, corner piece. Right, so I did get reference for some of this stuff. It all looks trim-like. It's just a good reference to see how things are done. Maybe those pillars could get modelled a little bit more. So, obviously in the TV show they're kind of just drawn with this. They're just drawn with, you know, like that to it, because they've got these scenes are on the screen for like a few seconds each. So when they're drawing them, there's a lot more work going into to that. So I'm just thinking, like, it's the detail there that I can add. I am plugged in with my headphones, but I've got the book here. If anyone is watching and they want to suggest anything, like how can I improve upon the... How do you think I could improve upon that pillar and not just make it blank old pillar? Because I'm assuming the reason it is blank pillar is because they were limited by drawing and not by 3D. Just going to scroll through the book until I find pillar in an air temple. Actually, that's a good... camera. There's actually some really cool stuff here. Like, it's in the way, but there's like a part of the air temple right there. I'm not sure what air temple that is, to be fair. But there's drawings on the floor. It's much more detailed because it's in The Legend of Korra rather than in Last Airbender. But they never went back to this Eastern Air Temple. Western Air Temple, sorry. Oh, this is the Northern Air Temple that they've redone. And there's some really nice stuff. It's really well. They've done it in Korra. Yeah, there it is. It's the Northern Air Temple. I'll hit the button. See if we can get bad. Is the camera gonna... let's see. Yeah, there you go. Northern Air Temple. Some cool drawings. And then the one that they've redone that looks really good is all these gardens. That I would like to reference in some way. But really it's because this Last Airbender drawing just doesn't hold up to the same standards as when they had more time. Well, not more time, because they made these Korra seasons in like 1 year each or whatever, but more... Well, I don't know how they did it. They had a different team or whatever doing the less episodes per season, all that sort of stuff. They had more time to make these backgrounds and effects look nicer. Oh, and it was made like 10 years later as well, so it was kind of like the technology as well. And there's a lot of beams and stuff there. Maybe I could do some of, actually. That's a pretty good one, although it's not animation, but it does give me an idea. Yeah, that'll do. So, as far as ideas go. Go with these pillars. do something a little bit similar to what I did before, which is select all the pillars. Tops, quite a bit of the tops available to me, so I'll cut off quite a bit. Turn them into separate assets. And they're all the same, so that I can then link them. I'll link the colours. Yeah, no, I'll link them all. Good work. So, situation. Let's get my book back. Do some fancy stuff with it. There isn't much in there in terms of what I'm thinking, but hoping that this is hoping that it's perfectly square. So I'm hoping I can just rotate these. I was only planning on doing it a little bit, but I could even pull it out quite far and even in extra detail now that I start doing it. These ones I was thinking just start naming stuff. Songs are going on for. Okay, still got time. I'm picturing this looking upwards, so I'm going to call this mirror right. And another empty that is mirror left. Then these both get rotated. We'll see what happens. So now the I rotated these too far, so I'm going to have to rotate them by only by 45 degrees. Perfect. Let's do it in the corner. Okay, so now I've still got it so procedural that I can create one of these. And it will create all of them. See what it looks like in editor real quick. Cool. Does that make sense that that's hanging up there? Is that how it is in the... Or would it be completely gone? Be supporting the weight. I don't mind them. Oh wait, let's see. On that zoomed out shot somewhere. Oh yeah, so it is hanging up. I've just added extra. I've broken that one as well. Oh. Wait, so is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Because they're sat down over here. So there must have been a missing pillar there, which is what I've broken there. They've broken a pillar there, but then there's a straight pillar. Oh, there could be an extra pillar like right here. There's quite a lot of pillars. Considering that there isn't one around here. I just put it up there. Oh, and that wasn't always like that, I think. Oh, it's because I moved it all. Do I want an extra pillar, perhaps? I mean, I've already broken these ones, so... I'm fine with the one. I think it makes sense to have one so close to there, and then one so close to... It would have to be 2 more pillars for it to make... All these ones have to be spread out all the way to here. Which could be done if I move them to here. Extra pillar there. I'm fine with it. Gives me more... I can see that fountain through here. Whereas if there was a pillar there, it would be kind of annoying. Right, just going to take a quick break. Right. I think the progress in the last day has been really good. That's why I'm sort of just carrying on with it, really. I think I'm past like the block out, starting to get into modelling a little bit more. Well, no, I'm still definitely in the block out. Like, all this is brand new block out stuff, but it's starting to almost feel like detail, even though it's going to need sculpting and loads more work. Yeah, so I was going to turn this into... Oh, I did. Definitely thought I had more detailed slides than that. Just the steps that I added. While I was modelling that, I almost wanted to add in like beams and supports up here or something a little bit more detailed than what it is, or what, you know, something indicating a little bit more than what it is in a minute. Might actually still be able to do that. Thinking that maybe, let's find out where the fountain is. Central Yeah. So I don't know why that's getting messed up. So that's just moving along there. Kind of suggests that there's something wrong with this mesh somehow. Don't know why it wouldn't like it. With that, this tool should work. There we go. Use the new method. That'll do it. Increase the segments quite a bit. Let's just go something like let's see, like 24 times. Let's times it by 3. See the fountain, because ideally this leaves room to create more, so potentially a little something like that with another inset. Pretty close. I think the select in here. With just enough room to avoid those new pillar things that I've added in. Let's do it on this one as well. Not very scientific. Do. I'm thinking, oh yeah, so I'm going to have to avoid the back as well. Maybe I can get a little bit more advanced around there. I did another trim similar to, or even copied the same one from over here. Could potentially put that up there, actually. That would look pretty good, potentially. Yeah, I think I'm going to isolate this. So probably going to do the same over there as well. So now that's even. using that for trims or whatever. It's about to end, so just gonna get ready to start the next one. Seamless transition of music. The reason I've done it like this is now, ideally, I can create something a little bit uniform at least. So don't go too mad. Maybe 4 would do. I want one going straight, not past the circle, so let's try more than 4. It's going to take quite a lot to get it. So it's going to have to all be focused on the circle there. 4 will do. Four by 4 and 4 by 4, I suppose. See what I'm doing, I guess, if you're not too familiar with some of these views that I'm in. Make that 0.05, is that? Nope, it's not that one. 0.5. So half a meter bevel, probably 1 meter beams. G area. Area greater. But not seen that unwrapping menu. Not sure if it's default or if it's whatever. But that has done the job quicker than I could do looking. And actually, now I'm going to want to realise I said Shift G. I'll turn on screencast keys anyway. Better wait. So make this sort of a little bit more accurate as it needs to be. Those should be duplicated and separated, and then in here duplicate and separate those, and then delete that one. I'll make them beams or whatever. Probably just want to extend those a little bit. I think that's going to look a lot nicer overall. Not that we're going to be looking up that often. It might just look a little bit more fancy, especially if I, go crazy and do more things. But let's see. The back can go, and the fountain can go, and the pillars. I'm really just procrastinating and keeping it in Blender as long as possible because I can't bother with sculpting or substance at the second right now, even though I think I named this stream so we do a substance or whatever, but can't bother. Okay, so it'd be really useful to see it here. I don't know why I want that material on it. At the very least it should be white as well. Going to look a lot like if they've put so much, that's not like too much extra design. Just give it a little bit more. Oh, now it's kicked in. I think I'm definitely going to prefer that overall. I wonder if I can reuse that. I'll just create a new one. Pillars, pillars, pillars. Alright, I think I'm done with the screen soon. Let's have a little look at the pillars. Picked up for whatever reason. It kind of looks nicer. Getting that weird green stuff in here, I don't really know what that is. Strange. get out the other art books as well, just find any pillar. Yep, that might be what I do actually. I'll just I'm gonna have to go reach for the other art book somewhere and just see if there's any style of pillar I can get some inspiration from. Oh wait, here's one. Yeah, it's really just the ornate tops. The main pillar body's fine staying how it is. What can potentially get extra going on. We've been considering making them like circular or something. More rounded than the bottom part, but I'm not sure it's going to work. So there was just add in a loop here. Same sort of trick used before. But if I add in more loops, then I can make that. Exactly what I was thinking. Hello, thanks for joining the stream. I'm actually not going to be on that much longer, unfortunately, but welcome. Okay, so that looks starting to look detailed in a way that I like. More going on there than previously. In terms of if I were to follow the reference one-to-one, it would be looking quite blank. You know, there's a lot of vines and foliage in there that makes it look interesting, but it definitely, yeah, redoing some of that. I mean, sculpting them with like the chips or whatever on the sides is going to be good, cracks and so on. Much preferring that light material than the original. Cool, yeah. ZBrush or ZBrush is a good one to get into for sure. There's so much there. I feel like on an environment side, if you do know ZBrush, then you're really good. In terms of the quality of your work just goes up much more. So like I personally can't really sculpt that well. And so just knowing ZBrush for environments really just makes everything, especially stylized games and so on, look so much better. But if it's for characters, then obviously it's just 100% needed all the time. But if you know it for environments, which surprisingly, like, I get by without it pretty much. I do have to try and do more sculpting in Blender or whatever, but I tend to get by without actually sculpting that much. It's a good one to learn, and there's plenty of tutorials out there, I think, to become a pro. And I think game dev in India is pretty, or just 3D in India is pretty good. So hopefully there's a lot of opportunity out there. In ZBrush, really, you're going to want to just follow. You're going to want to follow any ZBrush artist out there that is teaching some of the more basic stuff. If you're just a beginner at the minute, pretty much learning in any software. Yeah, so quite young as well. Pretty much learning in any software sculpting is going to be useful. So perhaps you could look at Blender if you've not got the money for to be paying out subscriptions or one-off stuff to do with ZBrush, because the sculpting in Blender, if I just go into sculpt mode here, the sculpting in Blender, all of these tools here actually are laid out in a way that's much more simple than ZBrush, because ZBrush is, you might, like, people say Blender's hard to learn or whatever, and the user interface in Blender is difficult to understand, but all those brushes on the left here, all of these symbols, all of these names and brushes and so on, using them and seeing these, that might be good as a beginner just to run through these to see what they do. And then also when you actually in ZBrush, you'll then be having this knowledge from something that's free that will give you that, it'll cut out some of that maybe wasted time between learning what the brushes do. So just learning, well, I'm almost done now, so I might as well just since you're asking about that, I might as well just go into a new file. If if I... with sculpting, and the main reason ZBrush is good, yeah, so just keep looking at the tutorials. But if you know, if you're in ZBrush at the minute, then that's good stuff. But I would just go through all the brushes and just sort of learn what they do. But definitely follow tutorials. Yeah. I mean, I use Blender because I don't have to do that, but you know, but definitely learning what the brushes do is going to be, and how they respond to when you're using them is just all the fundamental stuff that you build up regardless of where you are, regardless of whether it's ZBrush, whether it's anywhere else. And the sculpting in Blender, since Pablo has been doing the development for that, I think he's not doing it anymore, but when he was doing it, it just it's all sort of the same stuff. And actually, if you probably, let's go to ArtStation Learning is free, so I'm guessing there's going to be some ZBrush stuff on here. There's definitely some sculpting in Blender stuff here, and these tutorials used to be paid for, so they're all very, very high quality. And now Unreal Engine, Epic Games own ArtStation Learning, so if you're not looking through ArtStation Learning and just let's see, it's got to be a ZBrush section here. Might have just looked past it, but ArtStation Learning is going to be a #1 for sure, just to get in there and learn some things. I've watched these tutorials with sculpting in Blender. They're really good. Anything free you can get your hands on in terms of tutorials are going to be great, but it's got to be quality as well. So I think ArtStation Learning for sure is where a lot of the quality is. I don't really watch, you know, other than that, it's just YouTube, and you see where you go on YouTube, whatever. But so yeah, that's kind of how it is. I think sculpting's, if you're good at drawing, sculpting apparently is a bit more natural. I'm not the best at drawing either, so sculpting for me is, well, every time I've used it, it always takes a bit of a learning curve. But ZBrush is definitely a good one. Yeah, so I'm not going to go through the basics right now or whatever, but on ArtStation Learning that I just had up, if you go over there, there's tons of tutorials, and especially the basics in Blender. That guy that does it runs through it really nicely. And so if you have ZBrush available to you, I would definitely be learning in that because it runs so much smoother. But Blender's done a lot of improvements in a way that is similar. And if you do know it in Blender, and let's say you join a company that doesn't have ZBrush or can't afford those licenses, then it's always a plus as well. It's called ArtStation Learning. I'll put it in the chat here. Let's just have a look. So ArtStation is where you want to have your portfolio as well. Like if you're gonna be doing this professionally and you're looking for a job and all that sort of stuff, you're going to want to be on ArtStation. Let me just put that on the... I'm just going to get up here. That's the link right there that I've just put in the chat. That's ArtStation Learning, but you're going to want to be, you're going to want to have a portfolio on this website. That's where all the main art stuff is. So let's just go. Yeah, but ArtStation Learning, they were recently purchased by not recently, I guess maybe like a while ago now, but they were purchased by Epic Games, and Epic made the tutorial section for ArtStation free. So yeah, Blender's definitely got its advantages. It's working for me really well right now. Like if I needed to do anything in Blender, I could do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best, especially when you've got all these dedicated softwares, but you can't really beat the fact that you can just download it and use it very easily. That's where it's really good. Yeah, and I think it is a good way to learn sculpting, just to see what some of the brushes do and see how they react to the surface. All that sort of stuff is the same. And in fact, there was stuff here with like the cloth brush, with the clothing brushes, that Blender actually pioneered or whatever. So the guy Pablo that was developing it, he created like this cloth sculpting localization stuff, and it just made a lot of sense. And now obviously ZBrush has it as well, so it's just, I mean, he was working for Blender at the time, but potentially, like, because anyone can edit for Blender and all that sort of stuff, anyone could have made this tool, this local simulation tool that's really cool. And there's so much there, like in terms of the settings, that make it just act differently, and yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, and so yeah, it's an all-in-one software. And you want to learn more stuff, I do upload a lot of tutorials. If you've got anything specific that you can't find, you can always put a comment on one of my tutorials, or on this live stream video, when it's turned into a video afterwards. Just drop a comment, say like, I can't find anyone that is really explaining this very well. If anything else, I would just put a link to a tutorial that I've seen that is good. And if I can't find a tutorial that's good, then I would just sort of have a look at making it myself as well. Yeah. I actually saw there was a software, so you want to follow this guy as well. You're going to want to follow Ask NK on YouTube. So like 2 hours ago, he just uploaded a video, Real-Time Hair Creator. So if I just put that in the chat. So that guy posts all the latest stuff to do with Blender a lot of the time, but to do with any software. If there's something new, then this guy is posting it. So if you follow him and you follow his tutorials, not tutorials really, but they're if you follow his content, then that's the best place to keep up to date with 3D stuff and just find out about all these free things you have access to. And yeah, cool, it's good stuff. Right, I think that's going to be it from me, because I'm, oh, let's just see. Thought I was frozen, but I actually just paused a YouTube video. I mean, that's all I can really say right now. I'm not really a character artist myself. I would just send YouTube channels. Alright, I'll send one more. I'll send one more if you are clicking these links. I do also follow Jan Sculpts. Although he's kind of gone for, or they maybe have gone for, more of a these really short videos now. They've gone for like the TikTokable things. So if I can find my channel here. Oh, can you hear me? The TikTokable sort of. So there you go, Jan Sculpt. There's a link to his channel there. So yeah. I think they've got cool stuff. More of that stylized look. And yeah, that's pretty much what I know about that sort of stuff. It's all from other people. I don't do any of it myself. I just follow a lot of stuff. So if you dig through all that content, especially that ArtStation learning stuff, then you're gonna well, you've got tons to watch right there, and that's gonna be really useful for you, probably. I hope. Alright, but that's it from me. I think I'm gonna head off. So thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.